So we're at the park in sort of more of a secluded area. This is the area with the big tank. But me and Rocky are walking around, and as you can see, no leash. He's just staying right beside me. He's being a good boy. There's nobody else in this area, so it's kind of a distraction-free zone for him. So he's doing better than he would maybe in the neighborhood or whatever. I watched that area right there. That's the bridge that sort of crosses that little river over there to get into this area. And it's really the only way you can get in here. So as long as I keep an eye on that area to make sure, number one, he doesn't cross that bridge, and number two, that nobody else comes into this area on that bridge, then we're okay. If anybody does start to come, I call him over and we put on the leash, just to be safe. Buddy, come on. Hey, back over here. Good boy. So up there on that little, they've taken all the benches out, so this is really the only place to sit, on this little raised manhole thing. So I sit there. Of course, I keep the leash, the flexi leash. I keep it with me in case I need to leash him. But so I'll sit right here, and he just sort of hangs around, and whenever he gets the notion, he'll go sniff around and try to pee on stuff, even though he's out of pee. And he does that little back scratch thing where he kicks his hind legs, throws dirt up everywhere. He's learned not to do that on me if I'm in the path of his the dirt that he kicks up. He generally tries to point a different way because I've fussed at him enough. But there he is. You notice, like, no leash whatsoever, and he's got like tons and tons and tons of places to go, but he is generally pretty respectful of his limits. And he'll come back over if he's called. Right past, I don't know if you can notice, you can tell or not, but on the other side where the path is, sort of close to where you can see the bank where the river would slope down. He was over there earlier. And as soon as he walked behind that tree right there, like, it blocked his view from me to where I couldn't see him anymore. Immediately he just like took off running back here because he thought he lost me. But so pretty, all in all, it's a pretty productive little trip to the park. It took me a while to get comfortable enough with him to let his leash off, but when I did it, the first thing we did was we walked around the entire circle track and with the leash on. But basically I made it a point to not ever put any pressure on it and not pull him back, to just try to use voice commands, and that worked one time around. So we stopped when we got back here to the sewer, and I let his leash off, and we walked around 2 more times without the leash, and then I let him off. And obviously he's very tired, so that probably helps a little bit, but yeah, he did really good. And so we let the leash stay off and hasn't had to go back on. Gosh, he's a good boy, aren't you, buddy? Rocky, you're a good boy? Yes. Okay, we got a picture earlier. I took him over to the tank, which I have a picture of him when he was really young, maybe like 4 or 5 months old, standing in front of that tank, and he was obviously much smaller. So I took him over with the leash on, sat him down, told him to stay, and backed up. And it took me a while to get the camera ready to work. It was on video. I had to switch it over to still picture. And but he sat the whole time, just sort of looked around, and I took the picture, walked up to him, put the leash back on. So very good, very good. I'm telling you, he's not even walking around. He's just sort of standing here. Tail totally you know, it's not between his legs, but it's definitely down, which is a good sign. He's tired out, which is also a good sign. It's easier to be a submissive dog when you're not full of energy. And it's also very good, like I mentioned before, that there aren't that many distractions. There are some birds in here, but there aren't any squirrels that I can see. And of course the birds never let him get close enough, so. Alright, well, that's our trip to the park. It is May, I believe May the 8th, Sunday, May the 8th, 2011. Okay, say bye, buddy. Bye-bye. Good boy.